Village of Oxford Planning Commission tonight on November 19th, 2024 at 7 o'clock. Let's pay our respects to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would you note the roll, please? CJ is excused. Need a motion to approve the agenda for November 19th, 2024.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
You have to give me last names, I'm sorry, because I don't know you guys yet, okay?
Let's go back for roll call.
Okay.
Justin Ballard,
Here.
Scott Flynn,
Here.
Maureen Helmut,
Is absent.
John Nold here, Leslie Pilak,
Here?
Tom Schultz.
Here.
We did approve of the agenda. We're gonna look for a motion.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Point of clarification for our new Madam Secretary. Motion by Pilak.
Pilak.
Pilak, sorry.
Okay.
Another point of clarification,
Thank you.
pronunciation of the last name. Pilak.
He's just trying to make her feel comfortable.
I'm not.
All approved. So,
Okay.
All right.
You want to sign this?
Let's go back to the agenda. Let's make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, to approve tonight's agenda, November 19th, 2024. Second.
I'll second.
Leslie, okay, so Justin Ballard made the motion. It was approved by Leslie Pilak.
That's with a CK.
All right, now we're
Correct.
on item number 5. I need a motion to approve the minutes of September 17, 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes dated September 17th, 2024.
second.
Motion by Justin Ballard, second by Scott Flynn, with the 2 N's. We have no correspondence tonight?
We have the one, hey, John,
Yes,
we
sir.
have, do you want to vote this
The
one,
DDA.
for the DDA?
Yes, I will. I apologize. We do have a correspondence from the DDA. It says, "Hello, Terry. As discussed, we have no concerns with the design of the Oxford Bank sign as presented to uplift their fascia. Please let me know if you have anything else." Signed, Kimberly Smith, Executive Director, DDA. So if we can put this into the record,
Okay.
pass that down, please. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to make a call to the public. Do we have anybody from the public like to come up and give their name and address and discuss things? We have no call to the public, so we're on to new business. The new business tonight is PC 24-11, Oxford Bank Illumination Wall Sign Permit, 60 South Washington Street, Oxford, Michigan, 48371. Property ID number is P00427229032. Zoning C1 transition. Applicant is Phillips Light and Sign. Mario, would you like to lead off on this and talk about it? And then we'll have Phillips Sign come up and answer any questions that we may have.
Absolutely, Mr. Chair. I'm just going to be summarizing my memo regarding this review dated November 12th. The applicant is proposing a new sign for the Oxford Bank location at 60 South Washington. And with regard to this sign, it is proposed to be 30 square feet in area. It's mounted on the west or Washington Street elevation. And within the C1 core, the design requirements, the sign meets all of our area and dimensional and location requirements. However, as with our ordinance does require internal signs to be internally illuminated signs to be reviewed by the Planning Commission. So the applicant is proposing a channel cut letters that are internally illuminated. These channel cut letters and the logo are predominantly have a navy surface. with a white border, which would allow for the greatest amount of light transmission from the sign. So in effect, it would create like a very distinct and attractive white border around the individual letters. So we have had several channel cut letters go into the village recently. It is a modern sign, but it is very attractive, and they are very complimentary when they're going against a building facade. They create a good amount of dimension and depth against the building surface. We do note that based on the submitted rendering, that would appear that the Oxford Bank is also going to be doing a facade renovation. So right now, they just have its typical gable end on the Washington facade. They're going to be proposing some more pronounced columns, having a curved roof line at the entrance above the doors. So in the end, it's going to be very attractive, and the fact that they're proposing a contemporary sign is complementary of what is being done with the rest of the renovation. So with this proposed configuration, the sign will have very minimal light transmission, as I mentioned, due to the primary use of the navy for the text. But it will be adequately visible with a brighter white matte border. And in the past, we just note that the Planning Commission has opted to ensure light luminance is not excessive by requiring equipment to automatically control these luminance levels. So if the Planning Commission determines the channel cut letter is compatible with the building style in this section of the downtown, we would recommend granting approval. The Planning Commission may wish to require the installation of a photometric sensor with an automatic dimmer control module to control that luminance level.
Thank you. Do you have pictures that you can still look at? And while you're doing that, because I have a 13-minute window to watch, would you please come up and talk to us?
Sure.
Philip Slide sign.
Here?
Yep, there's your name and tell us what you're gonna do.
Okay, very good. Good evening, everybody. I don't think my mic's on, but I don't think I need it. John Rose, Phillips Sign and Lighting, and I don't personally handle the Oxford Bank account. I'm handling this for a coworker who's on vacation this week, but I can tell you that everything that Mario basically described is very accurate. I have a picture here if we can't get it up electronically that I can share with everybody. But again, to Mario's point, the design that we used was a navy blue to really keep the light levels a little bit more subdued, but then outlined everything in a white border so that it would be readable. It is going to be on a photo cell, so it'll go on and off when appropriate. And not excessive at all. I mean, we didn't use like a white letter or something that would really glow if there was neighbors or anything around that area. I'm not familiar with the residential zoning around here, if there is any homes, but even if there were, it's not like a triple white letter where it'd be, kind of really glowing into somebody's, window at night and causing any concerns.
He's got his.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mario.
Yes.
Leslie?
I have a
We
question.
usually, excuse me, Leslie, we usually walk down and each ask a question.
Sure, of course.
I have a question, I'm not sure you can answer it because I'm not too familiar with this, but Mario, maybe you know. So is there also, with the changes of the facade and the front door, is there also a change in any signage on the south door?
That's a good question. I'm not aware of it. The application is for the single sign, so it might not be necessary. If they do, depending on the scope of work for this facade.
It looks like currently there is if you look at it, I see a small photo here. So currently there is a small circular capsule. I'm assuming the Oxford Bank is already in this location.
Yeah.
They've been here for a while. Okay.
That's correct.
So they've got kind of a small circular emblem as their current signage, which Mario, you probably have the other picture too. Maybe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you probably try is the next one maybe. If not, I have it here. Not sure how they submitted this to you exactly.
Wrong.
Maybe if there's a little page.
Yeah, this-
It looks like you're on page 2 or 3, so there's got a night view. Gives you night. So if you look real closely here, currently there is a small emblem already. So with the expansion of the facade, we are just, proposing that they get a little bit more pronounced. Actually, having it more visual like that actually is good for safety and everything else. People aren't squinting to see where it's at.
No question, I was just curious actually about the opening on the south end. There's a door, or there was a door, I don't know if there's still going to be a door on the south side of the building, which faces the traffic flow. And I just was interested whether there was anything going to be anything there, or whether that would be a future application.
Certainly nothing that we're proposing as part of this particular project with Oxford Bank.
Okay, so,
And they would be allowed to maintain an existing sign if
Yeah.
they're not changing any facade. If they do want to change it in any way, they would just have to submit a separate permit.
okay.
Mario, and maybe someone else may know this, I should have looked on the way in. Is there a ground sign there now?
There's one over here on the corner,
Thought there was.
this one, yeah.
There is.
So, for our requirements, Mario, ground sign plus wall sign, is that within our guidelines?
Yes, it is, yeah, the amount of square footage for the for the total signage is consistent with ordinance.
Okay.
Actually, can you zoom in?
yeah.
That's the door I was.
Yeah, I was gonna move over to the door.
Yeah, so there's currently a round logo sign above that white door on the south side.
Well, Leslie brought up a real good point, I'm gonna work with that. Where does our ordinance in the village say about a south sign? Mario?
Because it's facing a parking lot, they are permitted an additional sign on that wall.
So they can have one on 24, one on the south side for our conversation, and then they can have that freestanding sign down in the corner there.
Yes.
Okay. I would think that they might move that down and put it on. So, as long as there's no problem with our ordinance, would they have to come back and ask, petition us again for the south sign, or is that something that would just?
If they wanted to change it in a particular way, if they want to change the sign area or it's put in a brand new one, like if they went with a different configuration, like maybe the logo on top with the text below it saying Oxford Bank.
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Exactly, yeah, that's
Thank
why.
you.
I'm good.
Tom, you good?
Yep.
I'm good.
Justin? I just had the issue, and I think Leslie for bringing it up, is the south entrance and the ordinance and how that all plays into fair, but I think from what Mario said, we're in good shape on that, and let's move forward. I do want to discuss that we do, in all the other signs that we put up, the photometric cell and the automatic dimmer is pretty much a boilerplate here. So I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the sign at 60 South Washington Street, contingent upon the recommendations outlined from McKenna's letter dated November 12th, 2024.
I'll support that.
I'll support for a comment. Can you add the photometric, please? Photometric and the dimming?
That's in the letter.
It's in the reason
You
why.
want to cover with the letter? Okay, I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Roll call.
We have a second, so we need a roll call vote.
Is that, okay. All right. So Ballard,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes,
Pilak,
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
motion passes. Thank you very much for coming in.
Great.
Mario, thank you for getting the technical AV system working. I appreciate that.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Let's move on to old business. We have nothing under our old business. We'll open it up for public comment. We don't have any public comment. Anything from the consultants or administration comments?
I just want to say it was my honor and privilege to work with all of you for my time here at the village, and Mario, you too, and I'm really going to miss you guys. But Vicki is going to do an excellent job, and so I'm happy that she is taking over, and she's going to do great for you guys. You're going to love her, so. Just remember to say who motioned, who second, you know.
I'll remind you.
Congratulations,
And that's
thank you.
it. Well,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Terry.
Yeah, it's been
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you. Mario,
No, nothing at this
TV's
time.
off, you're on your way out.
No, it's.
How about a report from ZBA? Anything from ZBA for the
Nope,
village?
nope. Have not met.
The DDA, any report from the DDA?
Well, the DDA just had a new director appointed
Yes.
on the 12th, last Tuesday. She was the assistant director, so she is filling the shoes. And they're just carrying out their events for December. I think they have a sweet and soup stroll, and they're going to be have a role in the parade. I think there's one other thing that they do. I don't remember, but so it's in their slower time, so that's good time to pass on the baton and we'll let Kimberly get acclimated to the new role.
Thank you, thank you. It's not on here about the township, but the planning commission for the township is diligently working on their master plan to get that through. Word is it might be through the first quarter of next year. That's a big undertaking, and we're looking to get that done quickly and swiftly.
Do you
Yes, ma'am.
have to incorporate the new requirement for the housing component that was recently signed into law, I think, by Governor Whitmer? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea, but I'll be more than happy to check on it.
For planning, planning documents, you would know about this. Mario can do a better job of explaining it than me.
Well, I do know that Michigan Housing Development Authority has been issuing, has been working with multiple communities to go over and making sure that their master plans include alternatives for, broader alternatives for housing.
Right,
Just to make sure that they can do things like making sure that there's workforce housing, meaning, you know,
right.
police and fire have options within a community. Doing things, making sure like seniors have options within a community for, so they can stay in the community they've been growing up in, or raise their family in, and other things. So typically, you know, I'll admit, I'm not sure that, I did not know that the governor had signed additional legislation. There were some other amendments that she had signed that affected some other aspects, but so it's probably bundled in that.
Yeah, it must have been in there.
Yeah, because they typically, what they normally do is if there's any kind of directive within the Planning Enabling Act, they do, it's more about providing guidance to local municipalities, because each municipality has to at least address certain topics. Because MSHDA is doing the same thing. They've talked to various communities and helped them consider all the different options, but then the local community is the one that typically decides how much to address it. And sometimes this is all bundled together, and sometimes it's called missing middle housing. Because, you know, you, on the one hand, you have single-family homes, on the other hand, you have, you know, taller apartments and big apartments. Well, there's a lot of things that we used to build a long time ago. We used to build duplexes, we used to build, you know, what they call mother-in-law suites on lots. So it's the idea of like looking back, seeing what we used to build, seeing if it's ready to encourage those to be built again.
Mario, how does that comment that Leslie made about the new law affect the village?
With the village, it would only affect us when it comes in, the next time we do the master plan.
Yeah, that's why. I
So
thought-
it's only has, thank you, it only has to be applied to the master plan, wording to allow for that?
I believe that if it's with the bundle of other amendments that the governor signed, then yes, it's part of the Planning Enabling Act, which has the legislation that governs the components and the items to consider with your master plan, the community's master plan.
Well, thank you both.
So you can look into it.
I will
see
look
if
into it and
applies
see.
to you
But
guys.
I want to make sure that if it needs to be discussed, I would discuss it with Joe here, that things need to be changed. But if not, then we're good. The master plan was out last year, is that correct? For the
We did our
Yeah, I
5
wasn't
years.
really thinking about us, I was actually thinking
Oh.
about the upcoming one
I'm
that you
thinking of
guys.
both of them, because we complement each other as in community,
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
Thank you very much. Anybody else want to have any report from the planning commission? Then we'll go into the commissioner's comments.
I just want to thank Terry and welcome Kim, and you were great to work with, and with, you know, you coming in, I'm sure you'll be sliding into a really well-run department, and it'll go really well. And if you need anything, we'll help.
Thank you.
Tom?
I second what Leslie said.
The thanks and the welcome is a given, something a little bit more business related. As we close out the amendments, or at least our proposal to amend the landscape ordinance presented to the village council, We also had discussion earlier this year about looking at our lighting ordinance. As much as I would enjoy a 20-minute planning commission meeting for this, it could have been handled administratively if we had, or the point being, as a reminder, we should look at amendments to the lighting ordinance on how to more streamline this type of application.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Commissioner Ballard?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
I have a couple things. Terry, thank you. You've always been prompt with our packets, and you're very cooperative to work with. I got my notes right here because I was writing. And you've done a good job with the detail, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna open you up to move into your new career, which is locksmithing. Since you were able to open the door for us tonight after multiple tries. So, if you choose to go that route,
Okay, give me my first
That'd be
customer.
friendly.
but should I be quiet? Have this end right there, all right? I look for a motion to end tonight.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Tom?